Thanks for watching. Please reach out to us. info@glimmersofhope.me.
Welcome to another episode of Glimmers of Hope, and I'm Rob Stafford, and I'm happy to have Warren Thomas as our guest today, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the Altadena fire and how he was affected by that. And so I just want to say welcome, Warren, and
Thank
you. I hope you're doing well today.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you again.
Yeah,
We've known each other for many years.
Many years. So when I ran into you, you told me that you had quite an experience with Altadena fire, and just wanted to have you share that with us. And I'll let you give your recounting of events.
Yeah. It was interesting because we lived in Altadena off of Eaton Canyon on the Kinaloa side.
Okay.
And we've lived there since '96.
Okay.
And so a couple years before we moved in, there was a fire that had come down through the canyon,
right?
And it actually burned down homes in that area. So
I remember that one.
We were fortunate in that when we moved in, everything had been freshly burned from years ago, right?
Right.
And I know at the time I had clients and had friends that had lost homes in that fire. But of course, this fire was nothing like that fire.
Right.
So our story on this one was I had finished my work day. I kind of split my days working either in our office on Colorado Boulevard downtown or my home office. And I'd finished my day working at the home office, and so went into the dining room about 6:10 or so, and the winds were howling.
Right.
But I was tired, ready to pull out my Bible and do some journaling.
Mm-hmm.
So as I sat down, got myself comfortable, and had not gone outside to look at anything. Just heard the wind and wasn't paying attention. And next thing I knew is my neighbor, his name is Fayez.
Mm-hmm.
I see my cell phone goes off, and it's Fayez calling. Well, he's my direct neighbor. And I thought, it's only Fayez. I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to continue to read my Bible, journal,
right.
And kind of end my day that way. So the fire started at 6:20. He called at 6:25.
Okay.
So at five minutes into it, our street was already evacuating.
Wow.
And I didn't pick up the phone, so I didn't think anything of it. So it's now 6:45. Okay. And I'm on the side of the canyon, Rob, where the electrical towers are, the Edison lines.
So you're on the east side.
I'm on the east side,
okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 3 towers down from where it allegedly began.
Okay.
And those winds, they were strong enough. I have a hedge in the yard, or I did, that it actually uprooted my hedge because of the strength of those winds. And
wow.
People don't understand how strong that,
yes.
if you weren't there, and particularly our house is right there on the canyon where those winds hit it really hard. So it's now 6:45, and all my neighbors have packed up and they're on their way out, or they're gone already. Okay. So in 20 minutes from the time the fire started. And I see my phone goes off again, and I'm still there doing my thing, right? And my phone goes off, and this time it's my CCO, and she's calling me from Boise, Idaho, where she lives.
Okay.
And she calls and she says, Warren, she says, there's a fire behind your house. I just want to give you a heads up. And I go, okay. So from Boise. So I go out, I open the front door, and I start to walk out on the porch, and I see that the street is on fire, like the trees and stuff up the street.
Wow.
You've got the red, they're on fire. And coming up to my door is now a police officer who's coming to help evacuate.
Okay.
So I hand him my car key, and I ask him to pull my car out of the garage because, as you know, my wife, Ruth, is uses a walker, and she's
Yes.
handicapped and moves fairly slow,
Right.
compared to somebody that's in a rush.
Right. Right.
So I went and got Ruth, and I grabbed my my computer bag, and we got in the car that was then pulled out, and we drove off. And so that was the beginning of the process. Well, called my admin assistant and called our daughter who lives down on Orange Grove, and asked them both to try to find a hotel room. Well, it was
Okay.
still so early in the process because we were out of the house before 7 o'clock, even though we got
The late start.
that late
Yeah.
start. Yeah. And so on my driving out of my driveway and down my little street, I was calling them, and they were booking the hotels. So at first we stopped at my daughter's house and asked her if she'd pull some leftovers out so we can have some dinner. And as we're eating dinner down there at Orange Grove, she gets the evacuation notice as well.
Okay.
So now we're heading with her to the Courtyard Marriott
Okay.
on Fair Oaks. And,
Okay.
and that was the beginning of our experience with the fire.
We've had several guests where they had to do 2 and 3 evacuations because it was just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So and by the time we got down there, we had already had the room booked, plenty of time. The lines were pretty horrendous, cars around the block, and even going into that room. And I don't mind being at any of the Marriotts. They're good hotels. But even inside the room, there were ashes on the inside windowsills because
Wow.
those winds were so strong, they were driving ash. So the room didn't smell all that good, but we ended up in that room
Right.
for the next, 11 days. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. But part of the story that I think is quite unusual is that the next day we're sitting in the hotel room, and of course all the news is of evacuations and the fire spreading, and it's all pretty bad news basically.
Right.
And we're wondering, well, what's the condition of the house? And that's where we ended up I get a text from one of my graphic artists, because we've got a bunch of employees, and they're scattered all over the country. But one of my graphic artists, he says, well, I knew you lived close to the fire, so I was praying for you last night. And as I was praying, God showed me angels protecting your house and told me to tell you that your house is still there and it's fine. And I'm going, well, this is a young man named Matt, and I don't know Matt all that well. So I took it with a grain of salt, and I go, well,
Okay.
that's good.
Okay.
And then
Good to know.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good to know.
good to know.
And then the next thing was a voicemail, and I get a voicemail from one of my wife's caregivers. And of course, she's in our house every week. And she said, well, I was praying for you guys last night, and as I prayed, Jesus showed me the angels protecting your house. And so I'm just letting you know that your house is protected. It's fine. And the reason it's fine is because you're always entertaining people that are doing Christian ministries around the globe, which
Okay.
actually we do all the time where
Right.
we have people in. And so with that, that's the second message. And I'm going, okay, I still can't get up to see the house, don't know. And really the night before, I was watching my security cameras, and I'm watching my neighbor's security cameras until the power went out in our neighborhood at about 7 after 9.
Okay.
And so I'm watching all of my landscape go up in flames. I'm watching the pool equipment and the gas lines flaring off of my pool equipment. And I'm watching, embers hitting the top of my roof, which fortunately is a concrete shingle.
Right.
They look
Right.
like shingles, but the
Right.
concrete.
Yeah.
So that was the last I saw of the house that night, right? Was watching those videos, the security cams. So second message again is the caregiver. Jesus told her this, and it's because we entertain people at the house. So, okay, well, that's nice too.
Okay.
The third one was a big surprise. You would have known my older daughter from school back in the days, high school days. But so she calls me from out of state, and she says, Dad, I just got the strangest call. I had a girlfriend of mine call me, and she said she knew that you guys lived in Pasadena, so she's been praying for you. And while she prayed, Jesus showed her angels protecting your house. And she said that she was to call me to tell you. So she told our daughter, and our daughter calls.
Okay.
And she also said that our house wouldn't even smell like smoke. It would be like in the Old Testament, there's a story, which I know you know, about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
And the king of Babylon throws them into the fiery furnace, right?
Right.
And they come out not even singed, and even though anybody else would have melted in that fire.
Sure.
So that was part of the message that this girlfriend of hers says, well, as she was praying for us, that was a message would be similar to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We wouldn't even have the scent of smoke in the house. Wow. Okay. Still, I don't do that. The weekend, I mean, still, we can't see the house. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the weekend before was the Christmas week, right? And the Rose Parade and all that. So we had our 4 kids, the 9 grandkids. All of them were at the house and staying in Pasadena and went to the parade with us. And we were debating whether or not to pull the trigger on buying a house out of the area.
Okay.
So this is how much I believe the people that were telling me the house was okay. I called my son-in-law and I said, go ahead and make an offer on this house. so he makes an offer on a house. And,
okay.
But that was 3 stories that day that all said the house would be fine.
Okay.
And of course we didn't know, but we were grateful for the stories. And then we ended up getting back into the house just a few days later. We were able to move back in the house 11 days later. Nothing in the house smelled of smoke.
Wow.
Nothing in the house, like along the windowsills of our we have both double pane and single pane windows, depending on which windows they are. And on the single pane, there was a little bit of dust. A little bit of it on the windowsills. But the rest of the house, there was really nothing. And so, I went through and still had the carpet clean.
Right.
Also did the dry cleaning of the draperies and went through the preventative. But that was, a story of God's faithfulness. Now, it went a little beyond that. I got a couple different.
And wait. There's more.
There's more. So a month later, we were at a retreat in Palm Springs.
Okay.
And we support a mission work throughout the Middle East.
Okay.
We've supported it for many years. And so the director of that work, who's from Beirut, Lebanon, he was there, and I said, Nadim, the night of the fire, were you praying for us when you heard about the fire? Oh, yes, Brother Warren, we were praying for you. Well, did you hear anything? Did God tell you anything? He says, oh, yes, he showed me angels protecting your house. and so I questioned, I said, are you sure? And yes, he showed me the angels. So then he went to sleep. He says, well, he tells me, he says, I woke up 3 times still worried about you.
Yeah.
Each time God showed me the same angels protecting your house. So that was a month later.
Wow.
That was really reassuring. Then we had the fire inspectors come, the insurance agency, the insurance folks. Right. And the guy that was our inspector, he circles around the house and he sees all that happened around the outside of the house. And actually we had windows that cracked, but like just a couple windows, and the glass that popped out was this 2 slivers the size of your index finger.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow.
So that was where the smoke could come into the house through the house. Then of course you've got your vents up above,
sure.
But so he walks around the house and he sees the damage to all the landscaping is pretty much gone. Right. He sees all of that. And he's shaking his head. He says, this is impossible. Your house can't still be here. And we go into the house, and I tell him, I said, I want you to take a big smell, see if you smell anything at all in the house. And he says, nothing. He says, you don't even have a scent of smoke. And then I said, well, I know you're going up into the garage or the attic, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes up in the attic. He comes back down. He says, I don't understand it. He says, there's one area next to the vent that's got a little bit of evidence, but there's really nothing here. So that was part of our experience. That was a major part of our experience of the fire, and I know that is not common. September 15th, we had these other missionaries that we support. They're Turkish. They're in Turkey doing their work, and they were visiting the U.S. We had arranged for them to come by the house And so they came by. I answered the door, opened the door, and the wife hands my wife and I a picture of an angel. And she says, "This is just a reminder that the night of the fire, when we were praying for you, just like I texted you, your house was protected by angels. God showed us the angels that night, just like I texted you." And I said, "You never texted us this." "Oh, yes, I did. Look at you." So I'm looking at the WhatsApp. I'm looking at the text.
Everything.
She never
Nothing.
sent any message.
Uh-huh.
But she brings a picture of an angel 8 months later.
Wow.
Because it meant so much to her. And I never told her the story about the angels at all. So
Right.
this was just her getting that. So,
I mean, 4 or 5 totally unconnected.
Yeah. And I would say the connection is that we were, God was gracious. He protected the house. I think there is a reason which was expressed as to why, but it's really all of grace.
Mm-hmm.
It's like glimmers of hope, as you say. It's like I have so many clients and so many very close friends that lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's even being on here, it's hard to be on a podcast like this because my story is not the normal at all.
No,
And I
I
recognize
can
that.
say that's quite
Yeah.
different. So
Yeah. So we've been in a position to, trying to assist others.
Mm-hmm.
I for years I ran a tax practice, and so we've been talking to folks about how they can deal with the damages, and from that, that's not what I do these days. But there's been plenty of opportunity to just attempt
Help
to encourage people and help people. But yeah, so my stories or our story is unusual,
Mm-hmm.
but there is hope. God does love us.
Yes.
And he would have loved us just as much if the house had gone up, too.
Right.
But
Well, and you bring up a point about the taxes, because what I've been reading and hearing is that if your house burned down and, selling your house and doing this and getting insurance proceeds,
it's complex.
it could be a mess.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome that you're using your expertise to help people out. So
Yeah, because folks have rental properties up there that they need to go into another one if they're going to abandon that, but they've got insurance proceeds that came to them. They need to reinvest. Otherwise, they may not realize that they're
going to get hammered.
They're going to get hammered, yeah. And the same can be true for the loss of a personal residence when your cost basis is really low.
Right.
So, yeah, there's some complex issues there, or the seemingly complex, but there's also, I think every CPA firm in Pasadena is well aware of what to do. So,
right.
yeah.
Well, we got, the fire came and burned 3 houses, like 10 houses away from us. So, we were fortunate that, we didn't burn down, but so
Yeah.
it was a blessing. But
yeah. Well, now everything is coming together. I'm really happy to see how much construction is taking place, particularly by those that have been proactive in working with their insurance companies and working with their contractors. So I'm sure many more people than I do that are in the process of building and making good progress. So I'm really happy to see that. Shortly after the fire, one of my partners had moved out of town, and so I drove him up on Brayburn where his house was, and he was able to see the lot and mourn a little bit from that.
Yeah,
he was no longer there, but I think a lot of those neighborhoods are going to come back really fast, and they won't have the character that they once had in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like a rebirth, but
different. Yeah.
So
yeah, and then we've replanted all of the landscaping, and that it is amazing. Again, as growth starts to occur, it's only been a year,
right?
And replanting, you're seeing all of that new growth. It's really encouraging, and for a lot of us, it might be that you even did better in the changes you make to your property or whatever.
Right.
could be better. So,
well, so I just wanted to kind of revisit something. So you called up your son-in-law and said, make an offer on the house. So are you going to stay or should I go?
Yeah. Well, it's a great question. So I ended up buying a house.
Okay.
and the house is up in Idaho.
Okay.
And if you want a place to live, it's available most of the time because I'm still living down here in
Right.
reality.
Okay.
But within 6 minutes of that house, I've got 3 of my grandkids.
Okay.
And, there's a reason we were we're going to buy. I narrowed it down to 3 houses the weekend before.
Okay.
And so this was really coming to that choice of which house was going to be the house.
Okay.
But frankly, if you and your wife need a place to go and you want to access it, it's available to you anytime, no charge,
Wow.
and you're
Wow,
welcome
like a
to.
little getaway.
Yeah, it's like 3,800 square feet of getaway. So
Wow. Well,
it's
thank
more
you.
than you need.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So you're at some point in time, do you plan on relocating there, and so you can be
Yeah, I
close
think
to the
so.
kids and
I think so. So our business, when I stopped running a CPA firm in 2007,
Mm-hmm.
and then we launched a 1031 exchange company and launched it down here in Pasadena.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on. Prior to COVID, we had 80 to 90 employees that would come into the office every day.
Okay.
We've got about 190 employees now. Almost
Wow.
most of them are remote.
Okay.
And we do have an office up in Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
And I've got an office in Iowa, and then the one in Pasadena.
Okay.
So there's a grandkid reason and a business
Right.
reason why Idaho makes sense. And then there's a tax reason. They have a lot lower tax rate than you get in California. So
yeah, I would imagine so.
yeah. So, but it's really hard to leave this beautiful weather, and
Right.
I love it down
I
here.
struggle with because being a 4th generation California, it's all
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't beat the
No, I was raised in San Diego,
Yeah.
and beautiful weather, right? And my great grandparents came to California in the 1880s and 1890s.
Yeah.
So
They might have known mine.
They
'Cause that's
probably
when
did.
that's when my peeps came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
it goes back
great.
a ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know that, I'm hopeful for the community. I think that it's making progress. Everything takes longer than you would like, but
Right.
I know there's a lot of experiences with insurance, and
Some good.
some good, some bad.
A lot bad.
Ours was very good.
Right.
We had landscape damage. We had pool equipment damage. We didn't really have anything in the house other than the couple cracked windows that had to be replaced. But I would say that, and we had California Fair Plan,
Oh dear.
but
And they
did
treated you okay?
they did a good job.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, no, they did a good job. I think they were really fair on their numbers.
Okay.
And some things that they covered, I truly didn't expect them to cover,
Mm-hmm.
but they did. And so,
Well, I'm glad to
Happy with
hear.
it.
I'm glad to hear that you had a good experience because I have not heard any good experiences.
yeah, yeah.
But no, you're talking about your landscape and everything. We have friends that from church that they had just redone their pool, just put all the new landscaping in, everything perfect around their
Yeah.
in their backyard, and the house there they just came from behind. It burned everything on
Yeah.
the street behind them, and their house didn't burn, but all their brand new backyard, beautiful backyard that they hadn't even gotten a chance to use. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Well,
Thankfully.
my backyard didn't survive, but the grass survived fine. And I had the pool cover on that night.
okay,
So my pool is 22 by 40 feet, so it's
Mhm.
a big rectangle.
okay,
And the pool cover had a few holes in it, and the
Mhm.
insurance company covered a new one. Right, I didn't have the same level of damage. All those houses that had pools uncovered,
Mm.
they really went through
Oh,
damage to their
yeah.
pools, and I didn't have that. So we had a lot of the water was retained in the pool.
Okay.
When the heater and gas, the pool heater
Mm-hmm.
went up in flames, the valves broke, and so the pool level dropped about 2 to 3 feet,
Okay.
but it didn't get dirty
Okay.
because it had the pool cover. So
You were really covered.
We were covered by that pool cover. So
Wow.
yeah, and our house happens to be down close to High Point Academy,
Okay.
and
Because the church,
the church across the
burned.
street burned down.
Right.
That's just south of us.
Okay.
That's actually about the closest structure on the south of us is the church.
Okay.
Yeah, and then during all that time, all those utility trucks, fire trucks, they all parked down there where Magic Growers is.
Mhm.
You know, I
Right.
think now they call themselves Growing Magic, but
Uh-huh.
they had parked there. So Magic Growers lost about a third of their inventory
Okay.
because they couldn't get in to water it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that became a little bit of a challenge to those of us that are residents there, because we had to get past that, which meant the first number of days you had to go up around and through the back gates and all of that to get
Okay.
in. But
Okay.
it worked out.
Well, I'm glad you had an awesome story to tell, and you had many glimmers.
Many glimmers, yeah.
Many glimmers. And so how did the picture of the angels, like, was it full wings or?
You know, it was.
I'm just kidding.
No, I no. It's kind of funny you would ask, because yeah, this little picture of the angels, it's got wings. This angel particularly looks like a girl angel, if you can have a girl or a boy angel.
Okay.
It's got more of that, but it's a picture of an angel. You know,
Well,
I can't.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
and really the story that the different stories
yeah.
had to do with angels and more than one.
Yeah.
So this one picture of an angel, I say it was indicative of what people were talking about, but
Yeah.
it probably wasn't a real picture of these angels. That would be interesting. Somebody walked up to me and gave me that next, but
Yeah. Well, our time has come to an end, and just want to thank you for joining our podcast
Thank you,
today.
Rob. Yeah, appreciate it.
And appreciate you taking the time. And with that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Please reach out to us. info@glimmersofhope.me